There you go.
Better.
Another one. Oh, there's a big one there, Al.
We land these fish, we'll tell you what.
Look at that.
It's really quite incredible.
It's a pretty one there, boy.
You got a big gal, really a big gal.
Topping 17-pound mono.
These are players, bro.
I got him right here. There you go.
Off.
Here you go.
Okay.
Pretty one.
Got it. Not a real monster, but we're getting into it. I got to tell you how this day went. We wanted to go do a frog show for largemouth bass, and it was real slow. Yeah, they weren't hitting the frog. I said, well, let's go catch us some smallmouth, James said. We've had extremely high water this year. So these smallmouth went up all these side creeks and they wanted to get in clear water. And they're getting some pretty skinny water, and there's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of fish on a lot of bodies of water that make that move. And these fish have moved down from where they were in one of the smaller rivers, and they're now dumping into one of the bigger rivers. And we got in a couple areas here now where a bunch of them are settled. There's a bunch of fish that make this movement at one time. When the water drops, starts falling like it did, these fish make a major move, and we finally hit a mother lode, to say the least.
Closed captioning is provided by Smooth Moves, adjustable boat seat suspensions for a smoother ride.
You know, one of the real keys to catching fish is ultimately finding fish. Right now, Al and I are fishing in a river, and we have sort of interesting conditions. The water was actually almost like 5 foot high. It was actually out of the banks. When you look at these trees, you can see the water was 4 foot higher, and the main river channel is like chocolate milk. Most anglers, whether you be bass, walleye, muskies, pan fishermen, any fish rivers, would say that's a really bad time of the year to fish. But it isn't if you go with the flow. You got to move with the fish.
That's part of it, and water clarity's got a lot to do
with it. Well, we're going to run down the river here and see if we can find a little bit more clear water, and then we'll tell you the rest of the story. You'll notice though right here when you're looking down on the water how chocolate milk this water is right here, but you'll notice in the next 30 feet there's going to be a dynamic change, and what we're doing is we're getting into a feeder river. This happens to be a good size feeder river of this larger river, and this actually applies to a wide variety of different fish species. This applies to catfish, it applies to smallmouth bass, walleyes, muskies. All fish make this very, very similar movement when you have extraordinarily high water in a major river shed and you're looking for clear water. I mean, that's the way it is. It's a relatively simple pattern, it really is, because a lot of people really say one of the bane of fishing is high, dirty water. If you're a river fisherman, that's bad. But realistically, it's not if you know where to move to. Oh, look at that one. Oh, there's a big one. Oh, wow. These guys pull hard.
The afternoon bite is kicking on like it usually does.
Come on, buddy. Okay, Al.
He's finally showing her wares.
Come on, yeah. It was sort of a work. Look at that.
It was a workout.
Come here, buddy. Look at this. Wow, there you go. Look at that.
Another good one.
Yeah, look at that.
There you go, man.
There we go. This is the handiest tool, not only for topwater baits, but for crankbaits as well. I'm not kidding you, I've absolutely been sold on this thing because it's got that small little hook in there. You can reach down inside the mouth. Smallmouth bass got such a small mouth, and when they come up and inhale, these baits are way down the pipe, and it's sort of hard to get in there with the pliers sometimes. But that little tool there, this hook out, the gorger, is a really handy little thing. I'm not kidding you, for a wide variety of different fish.
The river here is real muddy. This one that's coming in is clear, and we're sticking in the clear water areas. Smallmouth don't like muddy water. The fish they're sight feeders, predominantly sight feeders. You know, you can catch largemouth in muddy water. Smallmouth you can't. They avoid it like the plague. They'll find the clearest water that they could possibly find and gather in there. They know where to go. They know where to go. They love clear water. And they like to bite in the middle of the day.
If you're fishing for river smallmouths, a good bait to have in the boat.
And you know what else they like? Sun.
You see that one?
Those are all neat things about smallmouth. They like the bite net. In the middle of the day, they like sun versus overcast. And the other thing, they like topwater baits a lot. I just gave you most of the reason why smallmouths are my favorite. Can I add a couple more to it? They like to bite and they like to fight. Pretty good combo with everything, isn't it?
This segment is brought to you by Sunset Country, Ontario, Canada. You gotta come visit.
Right in here somewhere, there's a really good current seam in here where you can see where this tree is breaking and there's sort of a slackwater point or slackwater area right in back of this log jam. A lot of times what the fish will be doing, they'll be just sitting and we're right up where the deepest current meets the slack current. Oop, oh, there's one.
Ooh. The big one?
No, nice one though. I know one thing, he's a tough one. They never give up. Whoa, they really are an amazing sport fish. Wow. And also very, very dangerous with a prop bait.
Yeah.
They're very dangerous. Okay, come here, buddy. You get it into the Vulcan grip on them. The frog-colored skitter prop, one of my all-time favorite topwater baits. It's amazing on how that little blade is constantly spinning when you're not fishing the bait, and it seems like that really attracts them. A lot of times they'll hit the bait after you give it the rip, 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 and it's just drifting downstream, but that blade is still spinning, and it's a great attracting deal for the fish.
Got that one. I think that's that big one. Really? Yeah, yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah, good one.
Better size one there. A better size one. One of the nettable models. Okay. I like that.
Now you're talking, James. Now you're talking. Man, oh man, the afternoon bite is really, really, really kicking in. Look at that. Oh boy. Yeah, we came through here earlier today for a little while, and you know, we caught some fish, but it was nothing earth-shaking. And we decided we're going to come back through one more time, and that happens so often on these big smallmouth. You know, they like hot, humid. The afternoons a lot of times are better than the daytime. You know, the morning bite. General rule of thumb with these big smallies like this, they like to bite really good, you know, in the middle of the day. They like sunshine. They like humidity like this. And when they get active, there is no better way that I know to catch bunches of the biggest smallmouth in a river or creek system that you're in than throwing a topwater like this little baby, the skitter prop.
There's, oh, now you're talking. That's a real leaper. That's smallmouth fishing. River smallmouth, they are acrobats.
That a netter?
Nope. Nope.
Sure make a lot of noise like one, but.
There we go. Come here, buddy. A little bit better one. Come here. One thing, you know, when we're using like these prop baits like this, what's really important with a pretty black one is, believe it or is not, is the line you're fishing. And a lot of times what we prefer to fish is monofilament line where it floats. Like this is a like 14-pound mono, so it keeps the bait up high in the surface. But not only that, I'm fishing with this Tatula SV. This is 8.1, real fast gear ratio reel. El's got another one on.
Them big ones are waking up, Jim.
One thing that's really critical, you'll notice my drag is set really pretty soft because these fish pull so hard. Not only that, when you set the hook on them, you want to give a little bit when they grab the bait. They come up and they blow up on the bait. You let them grab it and drop back down. Then you just lift into them, where you'll notice that we're not really setting the hook really hard on them.
When they turn on, they turn on. The magic bell goes on. They see that topwater bait coming, and they can't help themselves. They gotta eat it. they're growing up. The little ones were earlier. As the afternoon goes on, they get bigger and bigger. This is such a fun bait to fish.
We are loaded for bear. We got
You know,
pikes.
there's so many different ways to fish for walleye. Dependability and efficiency.
Simple, fast, and easy.
The best rods on the planet. They like to eat when you're throwing the right thing.
You don't have all bluebird flat calm days.
Just a perfect eating size fish.
See, that's what I'm talking about, these Daiwa drags.
We got walleye stuff. We got crappie stuff. We got pike stuff.
Oh, there's another one right there chasing it out. You know, boat control is pretty important in river fishing situations, and you notice what I've been doing a lot. We're in relatively shallow, we're in this feeder river right now. Right below the boat, it's only 3-4 foot of water, primarily sand. And we're casting to any type of current breaks and even the front face of any type of cover that the fish could be potentially sitting in. But what I've been using is these Talon shallow water anchor. Intermittently, I pull up and then we get to a good spot where right in here we got like a current break in back of this log jam, and I just drop the talons down just to hold position so we're not having to fight current. I know one thing, as far as the best tool I've ever, for a river fishing scenario, I guarantee you shallow water anchoring systems like those talons are absolutely amazing. It's not only for like smallmouth bass like this, it's for walleyes, muskies. I use it for all different fish species, but in a river fishing situation, catfish, it's just like, they are really the deal. They really are. We can instantaneously pin the boat, hold position. It seems like this tube, Al, bouncing it out a little bit off the break. One thing that's, you know, when the water's dropping like this it's sort of always intriguing to me in the fact that when the water's dropping out, a lot of times what the fish will do is pull off the bank. When the water's pushing up, the fish will get tight on the bank. Right now, what I've been doing is just taking the tube and sweeping it out into this deeper stuff. We've been catching some fish propping up shallower, but some of these little bit deeper edges, well, it's not deeper per se, just off the bank, not on the bank, I should say. Come here, buddy. Look at him, he's a pipsqueak. I got a really pretty stout rod in here. This is a St. Croix 7.3 Power Finesse Legend Tournament rod, and it's really a pretty stout rod for finesse fishing like this. I'm actually using a relatively lightweight bait and just sweeping it in front of these log jams, but
Got them. A little bit better. They're so tough in this current.
no, I know, aren't they? They're just amazing.
Oh, we got off.
Wow.
I came today with only a couple rods for largemouth bass and frogs. And so I'm fishing Jimmy's stuff. Thank goodness he's always got, yeah, you know, his Lund thing here. He's loaded with rods all the time for anything, for any kind of fish. You know, I'm throwing topwater. He's throwing a spinning rod and topwater. Yeah, you know, this is the old, when I grabbed it, I looked, this the old St. Croix Legend Elite. You know, been here forever. I got a Daiwa Zillion on it. On this one, he's throwing a spinning rod. Yeah, you know, we fish all St. Croix rods and Daiwa reels. Yeah, you know, so we're fortunate. We fish with some of the best equipment in the business. You know, we mix it up. We got all kinds of different rods that we use for different kinds of things. But like I said, St. Croix rods. This is the old time, oldie but goodie, the Elite Series. And it never gets old. I love it. And a Daiwa Zillion, well, it speaks for itself.
You know, right now we've been catching the majority of the fish where I'm just drifting that light tube, and Al's been catching them on the skidder prop. But when you look on the deck of the boat, we have a variety of different baits here. We got a Terminator frog, you got a little Rapala Rocco crankbait, I got a prop bait, I got a swim bait over here, and a spinner bait for when you're fishing heavy wood cover, because we're fishing so many varied habitats. When we get on the rock flats, we're picking up the Rocco. If you're up in the wood, you're throwing a spinner bait. If you're, you know, some of these deeper current seams, the tube is a really good option. And the
Ooh,
frog,
big,
the
big,
frog,
big,
frog
big
sort of works,
big,
or
big
the topwater
one,
works everywhere,
Big,
like that
big
one
fish,
there.
Big fish.
Is it a good one?
Yeah, real big fish.
Yeah.
Biggest fish of the day.
I put the brakes on.
I mean, she's a big gal.
I'll even get Mr. Clammy out for just to see how I don't think it's that big.
You don't think it's that big?
No, you just haven't been catching the real big one. Ooh, that's a whopper.
Yeah, that's what I said, Bubba. That's what I said.
Whoop.
Whoa.
Yeah, no, I'm telling you, they're
That is a big fish.
wow, that is a biggie.
Yeah.
And we could use her. This is like, you know, we're in a tournament right now, and you got to land this one.
She is a big fish.
What if I told you that?
It is smallmouth. Would you see the sucker? Whoop. I don't want to lose it.
Believe it or not, you know, in the past, I actually caught one of the largest smallmouths in the Mississippi River.
Why is this fish so
right
tough?
down here? It's river
I haven't had a
smallmouth.
smallie like this for a while.
Yeah. Okay. Boy, it's a real king tub.
Yeah, I mean, she's a big fish.
Mm-hmm.
You can see the bait in the corner of her mouth.
Oop, there, come here. Oh. Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, I know.
Whoa.
I've seen that before.
In this current, it's amazing. I mean, and I don't want to lose her, man.
No.
I want you to see the fish.
Yeah, these are the real aggravators when you're fishing tournaments and you hook these guys. It's sort of, they're not like largemouth. You roll them over and reel them in. The river smallmouths like this, they're serious tough. I mean, they are tough. They're tough boys. Bummer. Now that was an aggravation.
This boat is rigged up about as nice.
Easy to use, and it flat out works.
It's a must-have when you're talking about big waves. Well, these trout are so darn tough.
This bait is legendary.
So that was on a number 8 Shad Rap.
Your style of boat control is really key.
One that was there from the very beginning.
You want to be able to see in the water. The adventure begins.
Yep, you know, a couple more chunks here. Oh, Al, that's a big one there. Oh no. You got him?
Yeah.
Oh, look at, do you know what that was? There was 2 of them. There was 2.
I got this one. The other one might be that
did
one.
you have both of them hooked?
No.
Oh, I was going to say, it looked like it. Hope he's still there.
The other's one with him. I'll keep him double up.
I got him.
You got him?
Yeah.
All right. That's been known to happen.
Yeah, what?
And he got the big one.
Yeah, I did too.
Huh?
Yeah, like that.
I got the nice one. He got the big one.
Wow.
Look at that. Look at that.
Yeah. We got one of it.
Mine's jumping, yours jumping. You got to get yours.
His buddy. Here you go, Al. Where is he at?
You left a line in the...
There you go.
Oh.
How do you like how I do that?
I like that a lot, but hang on a minute.
What?
Hang on a minute.
That's sort of a mess.
A bit of pandemonium. And you got your fish?
Yeah, I do. I still do. Whoa. Wow. This guy here. There you go.
Hang on. This is a real fiasco we're in here right now. I got one rod out of here. I got this other bait in the net. But that happens when you get all of a sudden an explosion.
This guy here just does not know when to stop. Come here.
There. You need a net on him? Now you got it.
Yeah, that'll make things far and away easier. Come here. Come here. There you go.
Okay.
There we go. It's a real ship of fools here.
This was a bit of a fiasco. I thought we were professional fishermen, not leaving lures hanging in the side of the boat, trapped in the net, getting this. Yours considerably better than mine.
Yeah.
It was a good call to come back through here, dig out, experiment. We followed the fish out from where they were. We're in a run here where a bunch of them are heading to the main river, and it's Katie barred the door. They're coming in all shapes and sizes, and we got to regroup. There's a few more to catch. Hey, I get lots of emails on a regular basis. I just want to read this one to you. And it was titled, True Inspirational Humor, True Story. A longtime viewer of your fishing shows and one who truly appreciates your inspirational endings to your shows, I thought I would share this true story. A colleague of mine was stricken when in his mid-50s with a very strange nerve-based illness that after years of treatments and therapies continued to degrade his mobility until eventually he lost the use of his legs and generally became depressed about his failing condition. Since he was unable to do many of the general home maintenance projects any longer, most of the work had to be hired out. As he sat in his wheelchair one morning feeling bad and a bit depressed, he got a text message on his phone. The message was short and simple. Jesus will be there shortly. Shocked by the message, my friend started thinking, the end is near, and Lord, I'm not ready to go yet, he thought. What will I say if Jesus actually comes for me? Well, his mind was put to ease when later that day there was a knock on his door. It wasn't Jesus. It was Jesus, pronounced Jesus, a Hispanic worker there to do some roof repair. Needless to say, my friend was relieved to know he still had time to finish his divinely assigned task here on earth. A little bit of humor, but some serious note behind the humor. When our time comes, and it's going to come for all of us, do you have the peace of God in your heart because of the shed blood of Jesus? That when it's time to check out, you're going to go to heaven? Something to think about this week. Hey, from all of us here at The Edge, you have a great fishing season. We'll see you on the water.